Hey Virgos, and welcome to your December 2016 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky, and I'm here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead. But before I get into your reading, I wanted to tell you guys that there will be some changes coming with the new year to my channel. It is my plan to do an Introduction to Tarot series where I talk about my experience with the tarot and I do some educational tarot stuff and talk about individual cards. If that's something that interests you guys, like this video or comment below, because I really want to make sure that it's something that my audience is interested in. Also, there will be some changes happening on my shop as well. I'm going to change up quite a few things, but most importantly, my rate will be going up due to the volume of clients who are searching out private readings with me. And I'm going to be very busy with the new year starting, so it's just something that I had to do. But I did want to say that if you guys want to jump over there and book a reading with me in December, you will retain the rate that you start your readings with me. So if, for example, my rate right now is $65 for 30 minutes of pre-recorded video or 45 minutes of face-to-face consultation through Skype, if you book with me now, you will permanently retain that rate. I even have clients from before I have my rate that I have now who I still keep their first rate that they started with me at. So having said that, I believe that's all the updates that I need to get you guys updated on. So let's see what's happening for Virgos for December. So in the middle of your reading, you've got Judgment. And wow, I'm actually pretty happy to see that because a lot of Virgos have been struggling. I've known a few Virgos in my own personal life who've really had quite the upheaval going on in their life. So you guys might finally feel some of the energy coming back that you've had to expend so much in the recent past. There are still yet heavy archetypes. It's overwhelmingly positive to me, though, because you do have the Sun and you have the World. And the Six of Cups, you know, those are traditionally positive archetypes for the most part. But it's still a lot of energy to take in. You guys are one of the only signs to have 3 major arcana cards in your reading, and I always say that when there are 3 or more in any of my readings, it's going to be a very, very memorable month. There are going to be a lot of universal karmic things happening that propel you forward into the next month. So, first off, Six of Cups, someone may be coming back into your life. Someone from the past, and this has been coming up a lot for Virgos lately. I feel like a lot of Virgos know this one person that they've been struggling with, who one day is like an integral player in their life, then the next day they're just kind of gone. So that person is going to potentially come back again in December. And it may be sentimental, it may be nostalgic, you may miss them, you may be really thinking about the positive things that happened in your life with them. And, you know, having said that, you feel like you shouldn't be doing that. You've got the Two of Swords crowning your reading at the very top. The emotions that you're feeling come with a price, it seems like, yeah, Virgo? So it seems like when you miss this person or when you feel sentimental towards the past, you don't feel that you should, because you know of the pain that this person also brought with them, and you feel like you should be able to move forward, although you don't want to forget the good things that they did as well. So you're kind of finding yourself in a juxtaposition and not knowing how to feel about somebody or a certain situation. But I feel like you're going to get some clarity because the Sun is coming in. It is reversed, so make sure that you're opening yourself up to see things the way that they are. Don't, that could be something with the Sun reversed. Maybe you're not allowing yourself to see the situation in its true light. Maybe there are a lot of universal energies coming in to help illuminate things, and if you keep trying to close your eyes to it or you keep resisting that illumination, you know, the transition that needs to be made, you know, with Judgment in the World, those transitions, those culminations of energies in your life, you know, you might find yourself reverting back to energy of the Tower or the Ten of Swords. You know, you could find yourself in those situations if you don't allow the universe to illuminate some of the unhealthy tendencies that exist in your life that you perhaps have fooled yourself into thinking are positive. You guys could accomplish a lot in December. You've got Judgment and the World, and when I see those two cards pop up together, because they're chronological. You know, you've got card number 20 and card number 21. They're the two last cards of the major arcana. There's something that is coming to completion, something that is coming to an end. And this could be, because since Virgos tend to be so organizationally centered in their life, you guys plan and organize. Maybe you're really embracing the new year and you're wanting to really, you want 2016 to end. You want 2016 to be over, and you want to start anew in 2017. You know, Virgo is one of those signs who's all about New Year's resolutions. So that's definitely a possibility, but it runs a lot deeper than that, Virgo, because, you know, this happens once a year, and Judgment in the World, you know, they're not the types of archetypes that happen once a year. I mean, they can, but they tend to be years worth of knowledge and culmination coming together. So you need to open yourself up to that too. Like, you need to take forward some of the lessons that you've learned in the far-reaching past and apply them to your life right now. And yes, allow yourself to think about that. Allow that to become a part of your life temporarily. But prepare after December to jump into the state of the Fool, where you take the lessons of the past, but you start anew and you don't allow yourself to be controlled by the demons of the past. Okay? And there's some kind of journey that's happening too in December. You've got the Six of Cups and the Six of Wands. Six in the tarot is all about a journey. It's all about a transition. It's kind of a voyage of sense. And you don't have the Six of Swords. So this shouldn't be something that's very painful for you or something that's very difficult. It gets a little bit difficult, though, because the Six of Cups can talk about the past, but it's kind of like the transition that you make from the past into the present, or how you use the past to change your present. But sometimes the negative aspect of that card is you can kind of get stuck in the past, but that's not what that archetype wants. It wants a forward movement by way of understanding the past, if that makes sense. And the Six of Wands is coming in as that direct opposite. You know, you've got the fire and water element. It wants that future thought. It wants the thought of the future to propel your present forward, whereas the Six of Cups wants the thought of the past to propel it forward. So there's some time as a major construct for Virgos in December. You know, you're kind of like a watch. You know, you're the mechanics and calibration that you're seeing within a watch is kind of the way that your life is displaying itself in front of your eyes. So how do you channel that into your microcosmic world? How do you make that something that you can work with? Because that probably sounds very overwhelming. You know what? You have to take it day by day. Because a lot of Virgos that I've known, and I feel like Virgos in general, and if this doesn't apply for you, be sure to watch your rising or moon sign, all that, you know. Anyway, so many Virgos that I've known have really had almost a traumatic 2016, where they've almost seems like they've had to re-experience the past in its negative sense. And I feel like the Six of Wands is coming in to tell you, think about the future. You know, get out of the past a little bit. Think of what you have to offer, because you have a lot to offer. Accept the past for what it is. It does play a role in where you're at. It does for everybody. But, you know, take some time to think about your future. And Virgos are such big planners and organizers that you guys tend to be somewhat future-oriented. But you may have lost that. In the recent past, you may have felt that you were a lot more past-oriented than you had been. So also, some Virgos could see their circumstances changing drastically into the new year. Maybe not in December, but moving forward. Something about the way that you're living right now is going to be, soon it's going to be a thing of the past in the future, if that makes sense. There could be really big changes coming. There's something that needs to be finished, though. You've got these late cards, the Sun, Judgment, and the World. It's like, you might feel old, even if you're not old. You might feel like you're aging. You might feel like the last year has aged you. That's possible. But I wouldn't worry, because, you know, the good thing about getting into these later ending archetypes is there will always be a new beginning. So I don't think, even if you feel like, and I'm not just talking cosmetically, like as it relates like wrinkles or gray hairs or any of that kind of stuff, but maybe like you feel more stiff and you feel like just the heaviness. And I think that it is true that some of the stress that you've been through might have contributed to that, but that's where you need to kind of get your head out of the past, because once you start making some new goals to the future, once you start honing in on what you have to offer to the world, you'll find that that stiffness, that feeling of aging, you'll find that that starts to dissipate, and that you start to come into a sense of rejuvenation. That's the beautiful thing about Judgment, and it is the very heart root of your reading. Judgment is here to say that it takes some amount of death to be reborn. You know, if you didn't know what stiffness was like, you wouldn't know what looseness was like. If you didn't know what wrinkles were, you wouldn't know what nice skin was, if that makes sense. I don't know why I keep hearing like wrinkles and cosmetic things. Maybe there are some Virgos who are considering some kind of cosmetic procedure. That's a possibility, and that is also enforced. If you guys would like to have that done, I think that it is a good time, because that could be a strong way to channel that sense of rebirth and that sense of rejuvenation. It could be a good time to go to a spa or anything that helps you recharge your batteries. December will be a good time. Planning vacations for the future. Again, staying in the future. Now's the time to be more future-oriented than past-oriented, because the only problem with being so past-oriented is I don't feel that you guys have come to a place, or that you're in a place where it's so healthy right now, because you keep finding yourself in the Two of Swords. That's what's crowning your reading. You keep finding yourself trying to validate or justify your actions or someone else's actions, and when you do that, you always see the other side of it. You just keep going back and forth and back and forth. It's very bipolar, your energy towards the past and your thoughts towards the past. So I think that what that's trying to say is you need to think about the future for now, and once you find yourself in a more stable present, then you can think about the past without getting into the Two of Swords, without not being able to come to a solid decision and thought about what actually happened, what things actually meant. You've got to stabilize your present before you start obsessing over that stuff. Okay? And just embrace the archetype of transition, because that is what it's all about this month, Virgos, is the transition. Transitioning from feeling extremely unstable emotionally and mentally to emotional and mental stability. Transitioning from, physical stiffness, and maybe perhaps through yoga or through some kind of physical rejuvenation, transitioning into a more stable, healthy physical lifestyle. All about maybe even moving. Some Virgos could be moving in December. Changing physical location, circumstances, all about the transition, Virgos. It's a short reading, but it's to the point. I don't feel like I need to say anything more, because I think you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. I feel strongly about this, Virgos. Don't be afraid that it's always going to be like this, because you have a lot of transformative energy coming in right now, and you have a lot of culmination happening. So just have confidence in your future. And if you guys would like to comment or like this video or subscribe, if you guys haven't already, I have a lot of really good content coming in the new year, and I'd love for you guys to be there for it. And again, I love to get into a dialogue with you guys in the comment section about how this is playing out for you. And if you haven't jumped over to my shop yet, I would love it if you guys would check it out. Book a reading with me at my price right now to retain it before it goes up in January. And I hope that you guys have a really, really great December. Namaste.